I feel like whenever it comes to Drew and Ralph, whenever we think it's over, it's like 10 steps forward and then we take 20 steps back. Let's talk about them. We're going to also talk about Wendy Williams, okay? So, Ralph and Drew, y'all know this divorce has been finalized, but these details about her salary, I mean, listen, I don't know how that information got out there. I don't know why it even would, but here we are right now. And so Drew and Ralph are now accusing each other of violating the gag order by leaking divorce details, and both want the court to find the other in contempt. I swear it just does not end for these two. So here's what we have. So after finalizing this divorce, they're now pointing at each other over how these details made it to the media. Now, it's always some court docs, and the court docs usually find themselves down to the TMZ after the judgment became official. So Ralph then filed paperwork claiming that Drew violated a gag order in the case. He claims that media outlets contacted him about the divorce details, which led him to conclude that Drew was the source of the leak. Now, Drew then hops right on it and is like, no, with her own motion, she accuses Ralph of being the one who tipped off the press, specifically claiming he leaked the information to TMZ. Well, here's the thing. TMZ being the reputable resource that they are, they're not going to reveal their source. Okay? Now, while the outlet was first to report that the divorce had been finalized, including details on who got what, TMZ says its coverage was based solely on publicly filed court documents, not a tip from either party. So note, and I don't know that they would state that it was a tip from either party, right? I just don't think that they would, right? Because as a journalist or as a reporter, I mean, one of the things is when you have these types of sources, you don't usually reveal who the sources are. But in this instance, because if there was no actual source and this all was public record, then y'all, I mean, if the docs are public, what are we doing here? Are we wasting more time? So in her filing, Drew has denied leaking anything and characterized Ralph's actions as a calculated, quote, attempt to cause her harm, and calling his conduct brazen and willful contempt. Both sides have asked the court to hold the other in contempt and potentially impose sanctions, keeping the legal battle alive, even as the marriage itself is still over. And so the Jasmine brand, shout out to the Jasmine brand for bringing us the story, says, child, will keep you up posted on how all this plays out. Man, if y'all don't just divorce and be done with each other, like, just be done with each other. Just be done. Just co-parent to the best of your abilities. I recommend that y'all have monitored supervision as y'all are even exchanging the kids, right? Y'all may not even need to be in contact with each other as you are, as the kids are going from one place to the next, because it is clear as day the two of y'all are not going to stop acting up for the slam's sake of getting the best of each other. Let this situation go. Let this unresolved anger and just let it go. It's just going to become a thing that continues to fester for the both of you guys as you are trying to make headway and move forward from this divorce. We see this happen so much. Then what I fear is that it's going to become next. Well, what's going to happen with the kids? Who's going to go where? When are they going to go? And it just continues to filter down until at the end of the day, Everyone is unhappy. Everyone is resentful of your situation because y'all two are so slam bent on destroying each other that you just can't see the light of day. And granted, we're not in this situation, but man, just watching it from the outside, it's like, y'all, just let the mouse go. Let the mouse go, please, for your own sakes. For your own sakes. The information is out there. It is out there. Okay, it's out there. Now, I understand you might not have wanted it out there, but it is out there. Okay? At this point, y'all are just going to continue to go down this rabbit hole with each other if you don't just leave it alone. My God today. We've got some more. Y'all, we got some more news for y'all. And I always feel like, I hate having to do this particular report right here. Wendy Williams, y'all. Wendy Williams. Let's talk about it. And again, shout out to the Jasmine brand. I mean, Wendy is saying that she can't even use the elevator as she details life inside her locked $25,000 facility. What am I to do? Okay. Now, this conversation comes to us from the New York Post. The former talk show host has been addressing the medical terms tied to her condition. Wendy says, you hear the words aphasia and dementia. Then she added, what am I to do? So, Wendy at 61 has been describing what living in this facility is like. And it's basically what she's saying, locked in a memory care unit. And she says, I've by now rested my case. It's $25,000 a month here. That $25,000, $26,000, that thing keeps coming right back up, y'all. Anyway, just looking at that money amount, maybe that money amount is a signal from the universe. Somebody's about to get 25,000 a month. Somebody's about to get 26,000 a month. Let me speak that into somebody's existence, okay? But let's take it back to the story. She says there's grass, trees, 2 floors, no cars around, can't even do the elevator to go down. It too is locked. I once was a connoisseur of food, and now sometimes I'll just have meals in my room and I don't drink. Then she says, and I'm 61, and mine is a locked floor, and there's also an in and out hospital. But Wendy does say that she attends church every week. She says there's always security with me. She says, look, I go to church every Sunday. It's the Christian Cultural Center, 10 a.m. I go with a personal aide. And she's also reflecting on her former life and fashion, saying, understand, I did a daily TV show for 14 years. This watching over me also deals with dresses. I was tall, looking gorgeous. Now all of my stuff's in storage. I'm just not going to have some guy follow me into storage. This means, what am I going to wear? Those days we wore long, so I cut the stuff down. I've now turned skirts into shorts. She says, what I do is I keep things in my notebook. They say it's dementia and aphasia. Then she says, best I can do is Monday and Friday. I go to the gym. Let me tell you something else. You can hear her say, you can hear Wendy say this. Let me tell you something else. And that is that I don't know exactly how, what, why, but I have gone through a lot of ish. Wow. I have so many questions. I mean, it definitely sounds like she's trapped at this point. And I'm not quite sure what the situation is because we've gotten some conflicting reports about whether it is dementia or it is not dementia. Um, this is just sad. I mean, it's very, very sad to see where she is at this point now. And I have no words. I have no words. I mean, there's a big part of me that says this woman needs to be with her family. This woman needs to be in a space where she's at least able, because here's my thing. You can't tell me that there are not facilities for which she could not maybe perhaps be in proximity to her close family. You can't tell me that there aren't assisted living facilities that can provide a certain level of care where it doesn't feel like she's actually trapped. You can't pay me to believe that this is not in existence. But under this guardianship, it it sounds so demeaning. It sounds so desolate, and it sounds definitely like she is indeed trapped. And I just don't know how this is legally possible at this point. I just don't know. No, I'm not saying that she at some point may not need some level of assistance, some level of care, some level of we've got you taken care of, but for it to be this restrictive sounds punitive in ways that I just don't think that I can comprehend. And maybe it is above my pay grade at this point. But for me, it just feels all types of wrong. Anyway, so I just thought I would give you guys an update on that and let you know what was going on and what was being said and give you my take on where we are with that and ask the questions, why are we still here with this? Why? And how were we able to get Brittany freed? And I understand that there are complications that happen with that, but how were we able to get her free, but we still have Wendy Williams locked up, trapped? I don't know. With that being said, guys, make sure you guys happen to, like, if you haven't already done so, make sure you just happen to hit that like button, like this content, subscribe to the channel, and also be sure to tap into our faceless content class that's happening tomorrow at 12 noon. That is Saturday, June 13th at noon Eastern, PM, noon. Be there. You don't want to miss it. This, I think, will be my last one, and then I'll tell you what my next new excitement is all about after that. All right. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video.